Kitty boy, you're getting to be a pretty big kitty boy.
Big.
Ain't right, dude.
I hear you. You're on mute.
You can't hear me. I'm on mute. Thank you. Happy Monday, everyone. How is everyone doing? Did everyone
Wonderful.
Wonderful.
Yep.
If you celebrate Easter, how was that?
Easter was amazing.
Yay!
Quiet.
Right.
Yeah, it's so funny because since we've left Dallas and we are in the Austin area, we didn't really have anybody to celebrate with. And so it was just really quiet, but nice. And it was, I don't know if anybody who doesn't get to celebrate still FaceTimes with their crazy family, but we were doing that and they definitely crack us up. But
Caytie, how do you like Austin?
we love it. You know, we are outside. We're about 30 minutes outside of Austin, like out north near towards the lake.
Nice.
Hey, Travis.
Yeah, out near Lake Travis. We're in this little town called Lago Vista. So if you know where Lakeway is, it's like directly across the lake. But if we drove there, it would take like 40 minutes. So it's good. It's we've been here for 3 weeks and we are here until Saturday. And we have to find a place to go because we don't know what that looks like yet. We think we're going to go somewhere actually in Austin, but we're both traveling a lot in April to different conferences, and Shane has a golf trip. But we're kind of ready to be like near the city because it's very, very quiet. And it's been great for thinking. Like, I don't know if you're ever in that season where you like need to think and process, and we're kind of past that. And it's like, now we need to like meet people and do things, but we still have no idea, like, how long is this going to last? Are we going to go back to Dallas? Are we not going to go back to Dallas? It's a very weird place to be. And I'm trying to just take it day by day. Has anyone ever done this where they've like packed up their stuff? I know there are a few people.
You are a brave woman.
Well, Leah, I don't know if you knew this. We had an RV built. It was like a 5-month plan. We had this beautiful custom bus built. And 6 days before we were supposed to get it, the deal fell through.
Oh my gosh. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Like the RV place called and they were like, yeah, we actually need another $65,000 down. And we were like,
well, you can always get an RV subject to. I can hook you
we
up with
thought
somebody
about
from.
I know we thought about that, but then kind of like when that deal died, and I don't know how high maintenance any of you are, but like, I mean, I picked out everything, like the count, you know, the marble, like everything, like, anyways. So yeah. Okay. Well, happy Monday. And I just want to hear from everyone. Drop in the chat on a scale of 1 to 10. What kind of energy are you bringing with you today? I'm going to mute some of you. You're probably doing some stuff in the background. 1 is, I'm not really feeling it. It hasn't been a great day. 10 is, I am on fire. It is amazing. And I'm just super pumped to be here. Okay. Some 6, 7, 5, 5, 5, 9, 7. Oh, Diane says all the good stuff. I can't wait to hear about that. Tamar says a 10. Danielle, I love it. 8.43. I love it. 6, 8, 5. Okay, everyone's a little all over the place, and I totally understand that. I don't know about you all, but after, I know for some people, they've had a holiday weekend. Some people's kids have been off. Some people have not. Some people, right? It tends to be one of those really crazy things. It's also April 1st. And in case you didn't know it, Mercury is in retrograde. I never believed in any of that stuff. Like back in the day, I remember The CEO I worked for, her assistant was telling me about it. I was like, what the hell are you talking about? Mercury is in retrograde. But it actually does impact things. And I don't know if anybody's had any tech issues today or communications issues. But I've had some tech issues just putting stuff together for tonight. So yeah, it can kind of be a crazy day. But my goal is to shift your energy. I want to talk to you about a topic that I'm super passionate about. It's super close to me. And hopefully we can move you from wherever you are and at least bump your energy up a little bit so that when you go to bed tonight, when you face the rest of the week, even when you face this month.
Sorry, I'm at the library. So I had to get this SD card real quick.
If you'll mute yourself, I can't see
Maybe.
you talking.
Get an SD and now.
There we go. Okay, I muted everyone. So that is the goal. So I am going to share my screen with you. And before I do, I just want to ask a couple more scale of 1 to 10 questions. So these are what my old coach used to call gut check questions. And I took this into my coaching practice when I was still doing a ton of executive coaching. And it's a great way to really, what we want to do is just raise your awareness for where you are today. Know that the answer could be different yesterday and it can be different tomorrow. But gut check, scale of 1 to 10, how confident do you feel and how confident are you in your real estate investing business? No matter what investment strategy, no matter what your role is, just tell me where you are today. How are you feeling? Where do you find yourself on that spectrum? 1 is not at all. 10 is, oh my gosh, I have a ton of confidence and I am rocking it. All right, 6, 2, 3, 4, 8, 6, 8, 5, 5, 5, 7, 9.8, 2, 5. I would say that depending on the day for me, there are days that I'm at a 10. I'm like, yes, I am crushing this. I am doing it. I know how. And then there are days where I'm like, no, it's a 2. It's a 2. Giselle, I love what you just said. You said, I feel I know so much terminology and yet I haven't taken action. And this is absolutely the call for you to be on. So if you are in a similar place with Giselle, where you're like, on a scale of 1 to 10, where would you say you're confident in taking action in your real estate business? 1 is not at all. 10 is, oh yeah, I am crushing it with taking action and I feel confident about that. All right, let's let those numbers roll in. 4, 4. Leah says 9. Leah, we might have you come teach us some things. A 4, a 5, a 7, a 6, a 9, a 5. Yeah, it's kind of all over the place. And here's what I want you to know about confidence. This is totally normal. No matter what you're feeling, what you're experiencing today, this is normal. So I'm going to share my screen with you and I am going to tell you more about it. Okay. Do y'all see that where it says embrace your inner badass? Can you give me a thumbs up if you see that? Yeah, okay, awesome. So this is a workshop that I have done hundreds of times. I have done this for Southwest Airlines for International Women's Day. I've done this for women in retail executives. I've done this with small groups. I've even done this with teen girls as young as 15 and 16. And when we talk about the idea of confidence, it tends to be a very universal thing. So here with you, I'm going to take you back to this picture. This is August of 2015. It is the very first time I'd ever been to Cabo. My husband and my friends were playing golf that day. That was back when I didn't play golf. And we were on this gorgeous oceanside golf course. The rocks were amazing. And if you can see the water in the background, it was just rushing forward, rushing forward. It was amazing and beautiful and peaceful. And so I took this picture to capture this moment. Now, I want to tell you that while it looks like I'm having an amazing, great time, and I'm excited to be there, the turmoil that was happening inside my head this exact trip, this exact season of my life, was probably the hardest season I have ever gone through. So in May of 2015, some of you know my story, some of you don't. I was sitting in my corner office. I was a chief development officer for Girl Scouts in Dallas. I had risen to the ranks of that executive role after working really, really hard. I was only 35 years old, and my next step was to be the CEO of a nonprofit. That is what I had been working towards since the day after I graduated from college. Well, on May 3rd, 2015, I actually quit that job with no plan, with no idea what was coming next. Crazy. So I literally decided on a Monday that I couldn't do it anymore. And on Thursday, I walked into my CEO's office. Has anyone ever quit their job with no plan? Drop a I have in the chat if you have done that. Yeah, okay, some of you have. Yes. Okay, I appreciate that because most of the time when I tell this story, people look at me like I'm insane. They're like, "What are you talking about? You quit your job." It was so cliche, y'all. I had a six-figure C-suite role with a big team. I had a freaking corner office and I was crying in it every single day. The day after this picture was taken, I actually met some friends in the pool. It was an all-inclusive swim-up bar pool back when I was still partaking in those beverages. And I met this couple. My husband and I met them, and they're still friends with us today. And this woman, Kimberly from Oklahoma City, she asked me, "What do you do?" And I burst into tears because I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't know what to call this phase of my life. I didn't know who I was. I really had sunk to the lowest of low. I had gone from being this awesome woman in crazy rooms, meeting with all these badass female executives. And here I was, I had no idea. So traveled, I realized that I was having a crisis of confidence. And I don't know about you all, but when I get low in my confidence, I start to think, what are things that I could do? I had really lost myself. And so one of the things that I decided that I wanted to do that Christmas, I said, I want a pasta machine because I want to learn how to make pasta. Does anyone else get their confidence in the kitchen? Maybe you get it in the gym. Maybe you found some other random place that you've learned your confidence. Drop that with us. Kitchen in the gym for sure. So this is the first time I'd ever made pasta. And it was a crazy, crazy experience. Around this time, I had a huge amount of clarity. And actually, when I was getting my jam back, my confidence back in the kitchen through cooking, and especially making homemade pasta, I realized that I wanted to become an executive coach. I wanted to help other women get where they wanted to go. So I signed up. I went and got my certification. Life goes on. I'm doing great. I am moving on from feeling sorry for myself. I go from 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 to 10 coaching clients. And I start seeing a pattern of something happen. In fact, one of the things that I was doing then was I was using complimentary coaching call sessions to identify whether or not I was the right fit for someone. And over and over, I would ask someone, tell me what it is that you want for your life or career. And without a doubt, every single person I talked to had some idea. Now, some people had little nuggets. They were like, I kind of want to do this. Some people had full-blown plans. I want to be an executive. I want to start my own business. I want to do this, right? And so then the next question I would ask them is I would say, what is it that's holding you back? And out of over 100 phone calls, I started hearing the exact same thing. So I started tracking it. And through my own original research, I realized that 96% of the people that I was talking to said the exact same thing. I do not feel confident enough to do it. Y'all, that had been me just 2 short years. This was actually about 18 months later. This was in 2017, the beginning of 2018. Drop me too in the chat if you know that you've ever stopped yourself from doing something because you didn't feel confident enough to get started or to go to the next level. Yeah. Crystal says so many times. And so, ladies, here's what hit me when this was happening. I started thinking, oh my goodness, are we not creating? What are we not building? What are we not modeling for our children and our friends, for our peers? What is it that we're not creating? Where are we not speaking up? I started thinking, if all of these ambitious, and at the time I was still talking to men, I was still coaching men. So even men had this. I will tell you, for those of you who think this is a women problem, it is not. I coached many men who were MBA executives and had no confidence. I really had no idea how they got to where they got to. But just thinking, what happens if we all let our confidence stop us? What ripple in the world are we not creating? And you guys, it made me so nervous because I knew the things that I was stopping myself from doing. I knew that I wasn't trying to get on certain stages. I knew I wasn't trying to coach certain women. I knew I wasn't really trying to level up my business. Although if you asked me at brunch on a Sunday or Saturday, I would have told my girlfriends that I was. But truth be told, I was terrified. So I started digging into this idea of confidence. I wanted to learn every single thing about it. And when I say I started digging in, like I was scouring the research pages of academia to try and figure out what they were learning specifically about confidence. And so what's amazing about this is I have figured some things out, and this is really what I want to share with you all tonight. The key to confidence is to believe that your confidence is a muscle. And just like you have to get in the gym regularly to keep your biceps and your triceps and your quads and your abs and all of those things, if you're going to keep your confidence muscles up, you have to work them over and over and over again. So drop a muscle, the word muscle, in the chat if you're like, yeah, this makes sense to me. My confidence is a muscle that I've gotta keep working on. Yeah. Y'all, I remember the first time this hit me, I was working out with my trainer and she has me do crazy things that I hate doing, right? Like I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate working out. I love people like Carrie Ann and Sandra who are like, I love the gym. I just need to get in the, I'm like, no, I hate it. But I have to do it, right? We have to do it. And so confidence is the exact same thing. And when we think about our real estate investing businesses, what we are trying to build, whether it is a team, a portfolio, a group of capital partners, if it is, no matter what it is that we're trying to build, we've got to keep up our confidence muscles. And here's the other thing about confidence is that once you get it, the new level, you're now at the new level and you might have lost your confidence, right? Has that happened to anybody? Here's what's cool though about confidence is that you have been building confidence your entire life, and you will continue to build confidence your entire life. And for me, when I realized that this was the truth about confidence, all of a sudden I thought, oh, this is a switch that if I know how to turn on, I can be absolutely unstoppable. But what happens? Well, I don't know about y'all, but when I have wins, when I have experiences, when I have those times where I've built my confidence, half the time I don't celebrate them, which is why you all know I'm obsessed about celebrating wins. I move on to the next thing. I go and I get the next thing. I'm like, what's next on my to-do list? What's next on my goal list? What's next? And so all of the experiences where we have actually gathered our confidence, they go and they're shoved into the corner like these piles of boxes, like the gross garage that nobody wants to go into. Kudos. I'm sure there are a few of you on this call that have pristine garages. I could almost name you individually because I could just tell. But some of us have dust and dirt, and it is gathered around our confidence. And here's the thing, that's normal. That's normal. Megan says, my confidence is how I got all my past jobs and how I keep getting jobs. Yeah, that's the thing. Confidence is so crucial. It is so crucial to what we are trying to do and what we're trying to build. So how then, if you know that confidence is a muscle, if you know that confidence is something that falls over into the corner, it gets dusty, it collects, well, what we've got to do is we've got to actually reconnect with our past confidence. We've got to pull those moments and those experiences, we have to pull them out into the light. We have to make ourselves very aware of them. And we have to truly connect with them. Here's what's cool about the brain, and I've shared this with some of you in the past, especially when we talk about celebrating our wins, is that our brain literally doesn't know if we are doing something live right now, or if we've done it in our past, or if we're visualizing it for the future. Isn't that crazy? Like our brain doesn't know the difference. So as I'm preparing for this talk, even though I have done this hundreds of times, I am going through the motions. I am thinking through, what am I going to talk about? So when I get here, sitting in front of all of you, my brain's like, yeah, no, we've already done this. We already know what this is like. And so you can take that and you can actually connect to your past confidence anytime. So the question then that you need to be asking is, when are the times in your life that you have done something hard? When are the times in your life that you have failed and you've gotten past it? When are those moments where you've absolutely crushed it? When are those moments where it's scary, or when you've been nervous, when you've been excited, when you've just kept going? Now I see some little ones in the room, so I'm going to make sure that I keep my words PG rated. One day I was sitting in my office. This is after I had started making pasta, after my coaching business had taken off, after I had done a TEDx talk, right? I was sitting in my office and I was like, oh, I can't build this business. I can't possibly do it. All these people who are doing this, they're like heads and tails above me. I don't know what I'm going to do. And I kept thinking, that's so crazy, because in my past career, like I was a certifiable bad A. I was a rock star. I had done cool things. I had done a lot of things that were scary. I mean, I had gone from entry level to mid-management in about 6.5, 7 years, then to the executive role. So I grabbed my giant sticky notes and my fabulous giant red Sharpie, and I wrote bad A list of stuff I've accomplished. And I just started writing and writing and writing and writing. So if you do not have a piece of paper in front of you, I want you to go grab a piece of paper, grab a pen, which is funny. I don't even have one in front of me. Hey, Shane Langford, can you grab me a pen? Because here is what we are going to do. We are going to put together what I call the confidence resume. So the confidence resume is all of those moments. It's an aggregate of all of those times that you've built confidence. It is your social proof. It is the evidence that you have been building your confidence your entire life. So I have these fancy things that say my confidence resume on them. I'm happy to email afterwards, but just grab a piece of paper and write at the top of it, my confidence resume. And we are going to go through these questions, and I'm going to play some music for you. And I just want you to take a few minutes to go through these questions and write down a few things. You may not finish tonight, but this is going to be a really great way for you to jumpstart connecting to your past confidence. Oh. Let's see here. Anybody know how to put music on? Oh gosh. One day, ladies, I will understand how to use all of these like in apps and all that. Today is not that day. I'm just gonna set a timer on my phone because I can't get the timer to pull up. I'm gonna set a 5-minute timer. And I want you to just start writing. And you can do these in any order. So don't freak out about the order. But I want you to ask yourself, what are those things in your life that you've accomplished? What's something that you knew would be hard, but you did it anyway? Maybe those times when you felt unprepared, but you moved forward anyway. I always think it's important for us to dig into those times where we were scared or anxious or nervous. So I'm going to give you a few minutes. I'm going to try and find some music. Just kidding, y'all. I have no idea how to put music on. That's in 5 minutes. Thanks, Carrie Ann.
No problem.
Diana, I love how you said just put on your Spotify. I would have to locate that on my computer. Okay. I want to open it up for a second. And I would love to hear maybe some of the things that you put on your confidence resume. And here's why I want to hear them. I want to hear them because sometimes when we put something on ours, it is a reminder to somebody else, oh, I've done something similar. Oh, I've done that too. It can trigger something in them that maybe they haven't thought about. So if you are open to that, just come off mute and share, I don't know, one or two things that you might have listed. Yeah, Susan, go for it, lady.
Okay, hi everyone. Sorry, I'm driving right now, but I love this. Thank you so much, Caytie. I was thinking about it, and I think one of the hardest things that I've done is when my husband was unemployed during the recession, I was applying for jobs and I got accepted at one overseas in the Middle East, and we decided to accept it. And that meant moving our large family to a foreign country, just, hoping things would work out, and everything was new and scary and new job, new everything. Didn't know anyone. That was really, really, really scary. But we did it. And the second thing is, I remember I talked to you about this too when we had a conversation. And so when I think of hard things, it was presenting to a large number of people at conferences. And I hate it because it's so scary, because I'm not that sort of a person that likes to get up and talk in front of people. But for my career at the time, I knew I had to do it. And I just made myself, and I prepared like crazy though. I prepared everything just in case I forgot what I would say. I'd have it on note cards, and I practice and practice and practice, but it was really, really scary. But afterwards, when people come up and tell you how much they appreciate it and want your information, want to connect, and it makes it really worthwhile, because I guess I was thinking of me and how it affected me and what I was scared about, without thinking about what I was giving, like, to them, and helping other people with what the conference talk was about. So, yeah.
I love that, Susan. And Susan, one of the things that you mentioned that I think is also important to know when we talk about confidence is that preparation breeds confidence. So sometimes, right, being confident about something means that we are prepared for it. Now, I also don't have to tell a bunch of women, y'all, I was at this conference for women about 4 months ago, and I'm not even kidding, an executive on stage, another woman told this group of high-powered women, we need to prepare more. Y'all, I don't need to tell y'all to prepare. Right.
Yeah,
I
my
think we
problem is
all
I overthink and overprepare.
exactly.
That can be a real
Exactly.
problem for me. So yeah.
Yeah. But when you relive either of those moments, right? When you remind yourself of that move and how hard it was and how crazy it was and how you didn't think things were possible. And then you're like, yeah, but we got through all of it, right? That right there, when you truly sit down and take a minute or two, you can reconnect with that confidence and then go into whatever it is that you have in front of you.
I like
Thanks
that.
for
'cause it's
sharing,
reminding
Susan.
what you're thinking. Thank you, Caytie.
Yeah. Who else would like to share? You are thinking about sharing. I'm just going to go ahead and share. So this was me and my friends. We had a pasta party for our Cabo Christmas group. I have a group that we go to Cabo every year. And we made pasta, and there I was teaching someone how to make pasta in just a few short years before I had never done it. And so it was so great. So making pasta is on my confidence resume. Let me share one other thing that's on my confidence resume. So if you're a skier, will you just drop the word ski in the chat? Because I always love to hear who loves to ski. Lex, no worries. Yeah, okay, so Jada and Deirdre both said they're skiers. Okay, so this is me skiing, quote unquote skiing. I was 29 years old. It was the first time I'd ever been skiing. And we went to Whistler. It was 3 weeks before the Vancouver Olympics on Whistler and Blackcomb Mountain, okay? So I put myself in ski school. This is me skiing, okay? If you guys notice, you'll see, do you see the guy walking behind me? Right, he's walking, okay? I hate skiing. It was terrible. I love that I'm smiling in these pictures, but y'all, I hated it. Ski boots are the worst kind of boots I've ever put on, and I have had really bad boots before. I did not understand it. I did not like it. But when I look back at these pictures, I am reminded that I can do something so far out of my comfort zone, that I can try something new that most people learn when they're a kid, right? I went skiing a couple of weeks ago with my husband and our best friends. Several of you saw the picture of me with my Kindle, because that's as much skiing as I did. But what I want to remind you, and the reason why I share this with you, is because you will have things on your confidence resume that may not make a lick of sense to anyone else. No one else. They don't get it. They don't agree. They don't see it. There are people on here that are like, I love skiing. I think it's amazing. Snowboarding too, right? It doesn't matter. So know that what you put on your confidence resume is for you. Leah, share with us what you might have put on yours.
So, right, I went through a divorce, and right before I turned 40, the hard thing I did was do a full marathon. That was one.
Yeah.
And the one thing that I thought that I wouldn't do, but I did anyways, was hike the Inca Trail for like, I don't know, 3-4 days. And that was like crazy. It was probably one of the toughest things I did, because I didn't prepare for being up there so high. The elevation got really nauseous, and just what I experienced the entire time I was hiking it was probably the worst. But got through it, and I probably never do it again. So
yeah, but you did it. And
I did it. Right. And the other thing too, you're talking about Whistler. I was with a group of friends skiing, and they, Leah, because I had never really skied before. And I was, doing the novice, they like just going the bunny slopes, and you're doing really well. They took me all the way to the top. I kid you not. I couldn't do it. I took my skis off and walked down the mountains, and they had to, one of the patrol guys had to pick me up.
Lady,
I didn't do what you did.
I totally get that. I have thought if I ever got back to the top of the mountain, I would either have to walk down or
Mhm.
I would have to wait until the snow melted because I'm feeling you. And what I love also about the two things that you just shared, both the marathon and the Inca a trail, is that there is a mental toughness in both of those things, right? So oftentimes when we talk about our confidence, it truly is between here. Just like so much of the other stuff about it's a mindset thing, right? Because
100%.
you know, I have not done a marathon. I trained for a half marathon and then at the last minute could not do it. And that absolutely sucked. But just the training, just showing up every day to run, to do like the whole, I mean, it's crazy. And so if you can get through that, you can get through anything. I mean,
Yeah, the half
anything.
marathons are a breeze.
Yeah, absolutely. Still haven't
Yeah.
done it. Cheryl, tell us what's happening, lady.
I actually went through nursing school working full time, and my mom, I'm gonna cry. Sorry. My mom passed away from cancer at the time. Sorry.
Yeah.
Just hit me like a brick wall right now. And then my brother was diagnosed during that time as well, with AIDS, and he passed away right before I graduated. But I did it. I stayed in school. I did it. I wasn't a 4.0, but I was able to pass my exams and I worked full time. And I'm very thankful because I worked full time in a hospital. And yeah, so that was
Lady,
a big,
that is incredible. And my heart goes out to you on both of those, your mom and your
yeah,
brother. I honestly cannot
yeah,
imagine. And just
yeah,
what you had to do, who you had to will yourself to be.
yeah.
And who cares if you didn't get a 4.0? You just
Oh,
finished. You
right.
got
I mean,
through it.
I had to figure out how I could
Yeah.
do it. And I mean, I didn't have some nice instructors. I had one instructor that told me the only reason why she passed me in my labor and delivery clinical is because I told her my mom died. And in my med surge, my instructor told me I could miss a couple of clinicals because my mom had to have surgery. And she said, you can make them up. And then towards the end of the semester, I said, well, I need to make up my clinicals. She goes, well, I don't think you're going to be able to. I think you're going to have to repeat the semester.
Oh,
So I
goodness.
basically said, you told me I could. And I basically told her, you have until 8 o'clock tomorrow morning to call me and tell me I can make it up. Otherwise, you can talk to my parents' attorney, is what I told her. Because I told her I was going to sue her and the school. Because it was like, it's just craziness, So,
Yeah.
and I learned from it. You know what? When you teach, because I've taught nursing things, classes, you know what? You want your students to learn and to be able to pass and to do it with grace and be empathetic with
Oh,
people,
yeah.
right?
For
And
sure.
yeah.
For sure.
And then,
So
yeah.
it's interesting that you bring this up though, Cheryl, because
Mhm.
one of the things that just hit me that it should be on every single person's confidence resume is that you were brave enough to jump into real estate investing. Because you reminded me, Cheryl, that most of
Yeah.
us have other
Yeah.
careers. Some of us still
Yeah.
have other W-2s, right? Most of us,
I
this is
do.
not our first job right out of
Yeah.
school. And
Right.
so just raising your hand to say, hey, I'm going to do this is huge. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for sharing, lady.
Yeah.
Megan, what do you have on yours? I can only imagine. Oh, did Megan go away?
Okay,
Okay.
can you hear me? Okay,
Yes.
cool. So my confidence, I don't know where I got it, but like I apply for jobs just for the heck of it. So I've had so many jobs that my friends just can't believe. Like I've tried everything. I was grinder, and I worked as a railroad conductor, and I don't know, I made a graph of all the jobs I've done, and just to
That
see
is
if I could.
amazing.
And I went into real estate actually 2 summers ago, just to see if I could, pass the national estate exam. I never finished it with the E&O insurance just because, okay, now I know I can become one, but I never became one, you know? So, and then every job I've gotten or applied for, I pretty much got, except for there was a couple. There was 2-3 years ago, I applied for some jobs and I thought I lost my mojo because I didn't get them. When I went to the interviews, I'm like, why didn't I get the jobs? I had interviews. I thought I did well. But, you know, I always think, okay, the universe must have another plan for me.
Yeah.
Or you know, those weren't the right jobs, I guess, even though I really, really wanted them. I was like, nah, maybe there's other jobs I need to go for. So I always think of it that way. So, yeah.
Well, and I love that you shared this, Megan, because that is truly what confidence is about. It's about saying, okay, I'm going to put myself into a place where I can make something happen, whether it's get a job, speak up at a meeting, ask a private money lender to invest with me. Maybe it has nothing to do with your real estate investing business, right? Like, people keep asking me, how the hell did you pack all of your stuff and decide to leave Dallas? With a lot of fear and a lot of confidence that I've done hard things in the past, that I've done things when I've crushed it, right? That I have done things that have given me the building blocks to say, I'm going to go and take a chance. And so let me ask you, I want you to drop in the chat, what is a goal or a dream that you have that you know you can achieve if you really summon up your confidence?
Just for me or directed to everybody?
For everyone. Thanks for sharing, Megan.
Yeah.
Ooh, I put on everybody on the spot. The chat is like, oh, what's going on? Crystal says, retire in 3 years from my W-2 and work for me full time. Deirdre says, buying 2 business. Uliana says, finding a life partner. Susan says, building my real estate portfolio. Yeah. I love that all of these are so vastly different. Y'all, I have shared with you that Irene and Caitlin and I are working on launching a fund. We have put a stake in the ground. We have said we are going to launch a fund where we go out and raise capital from women who have golden handcuffs to their corporate career. And we are going to bring it back to Trailblazers and to women in real estate investing. And we want to invest in your projects. Y'all, that is terrifying. It is terrifying. I have to look at my confidence resume every single day. It's so terrifying that I'm having dreams of people I don't even know in my dream telling me, who are you to think you can do this? But I keep thinking, well, I know how to raise money. I have all these friends who have money, who can't quit their jobs. I now have all these new friends who are doing real estate deals. Why would I not create a fund and help everybody grow this ecosystem? Like, why would I not do that? Right? And this is why confidence is so freaking important, because you have whatever it is that is in your head. It's a little seed, a little nugget. You're going to have somebody who says, yes, you can do it. Maybe it's going to be within our group. Maybe it's going to be within another group you're in. Maybe it's going to be your best friend. It's probably not. I'll tell you this, unless your best friends are also real estate investors, I will tell you that my best friends have not always supported my crazy old ideas when it comes to building businesses. Kay, you said, can you repeat the question? Oh, what will you know that you will accomplish if and when you have the right confidence? That you know you're going to dig into your confidence. Yeah, Giselle, I hear you on that one. Adriana says, I'm going to raise capital and own 20 multifamily units. Yes. Yes, ladies. This is why, as Carrie Ann says, with unshakable confidence, I can do almost anything. Now, here's the other thing I know about unshakable confidence. It doesn't mean you're not going to fail. You will absolutely fall flat on your face in times. I'm not excited about that, y'all. I know I'm going to fail. I know I'm going to mess up. I know I'm going to trip up. I know that. And it is terrifying and I freaking hate it. Why do I hate it? Well, as many of you have told me, I'm very, very hard on myself. And it's true. I am very, very hard on myself. But I want to go back to have just a couple more slides. Megan, converting your trailer park. Megan, I think about how we can get your tiny home park funded all the time. I'm not even kidding. I'm so excited about that. Okay, so here's the cool thing, and this is why I say that you can do this anytime, anywhere. I don't know what's coming for you. I don't know what's ahead of you, but I know that something that lies in front of you is going to be scary. It's going to be uncomfortable. I know it's going to weird you out. I know your ego might get in the way. I know that something is going to be unexpected, right? If we've learned anything from COVID, it's that we don't control everything. But the cool thing about reliving these moments and having your confidence resonate is this is something you can do anytime, anywhere. So for example, before I go on stage, when I'm doing speaking gigs, I typically go to the bathroom and I think through 1 to 2 of the moments where I have built my confidence, where my confidence has grown. And I sit there and I will relive the entire moment. So one of mine is my TEDx talk, right? So I will relive preparing for my TEDx, what it felt like during it, how I felt afterwards. And I will let that energy consume my body because it happens. Like, I don't know all the science of it, but your cells, they change, they morph. And so then when I walk out on stage, I walk out with that confidence. I walk out with that energy. I have just reminded myself, I have social proof. I have evidence that I have crushed it before. So the next time you're going to pitch a sub 2, the next time you're going to talk to a private money lender, maybe you're going to sign an LOI, maybe you've got to evict a renter. One of the things on my confidence resume is firing somebody. I remember the first time I had to fire somebody, I went and bought a new outfit because I was terrified. But guess what? We've got to do those hard things. So anytime you relive those moments, you take that energy with you into whatever you're going to do. And that's super exciting, I think. Now, I will say this. When I started the Trailblazers group, I did this just because I was really lonely in sub 2. I was like, I need other women to do things with. And I was really lonely in Gator. And I was talking to women and I'm like, why are we not on the phone once a month or once a week? And so a couple of us were like, yeah, let's go and do this. Now, I've talked to you about the fact that I have coached. I stopped coaching in 2022. However, several people have asked me. I've been bouncing around this idea for several months. And one of the things is that I said, I don't want to coach anymore. Like, that's not what I'm doing. However, it's not that I don't love coaching. I actually love it. I love being with you. I love brainstorming. But I started thinking, as we prepare to launch this fund, we're going to fund launch live in April. We are working with Bridger Pennington's team. We're getting all of the things going. I started thinking, well, how can I prepare the women in this community to get ready for whatever it is that's next? And so I am resurrecting a program that I have done many moons ago. I've run this with probably 300 or 400 women, and I'm bringing it to you all. And it's really for women who feel like, I don't really have the clarity. I'm really overwhelmed. I'm comparing myself to everyone else. I know my strengths, but I have no idea how to use them for my real estate business. I kind of have confidence, but not really. It's at a 4 today. How can I make it at an 8 or a 9 every day? Right? So I am resurrecting this program that I have done called the Bold Blueprint. And it is a 12-week intimate container with like-minded women. This is just for women in real estate investing. We will have weekly Zoom calls and accountability. There's going to be very specific topics that we talk about. And every week there's going to be action. So the goal is, it is April 1st. We will be doing this during Q2 so that by Q3 you are crushing it, right? I don't know about y'all, but some of us perhaps crushed it in Q1, and some of us are sitting here April 1st going, oh shit, I didn't really do everything that I thought I was going to do. So let me just tell you a little bit about it. First, we are going to dig into clarity. What I know, having coached thousands of women, is that if you don't have clarity on where you want to go for your business, for your career, for your life, you will never get there. Second is we're going to be really digging into personal values. If you're paying attention to anything that's happening within real estate and JVing, if you don't understand your personal values and how to connect them to your business, you could absolutely wind up in the wrong partnership. Y'all, dissolving a partnership effing sucks. It took me 7.5 months and I cried all the time. It sucks. So I don't want any of you to get stuck in that. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to be talking a lot about belief and mindset. Belief is also a muscle. It is putting yourself out there over and over. We constantly are going to be talking about confidence, how you increase it over time, how you take something like the confidence resume and you actually use it, right? Because here's the reality. If you wrote down some things today and then you throw it away and you don't ever go back to it, well, then you might have had something today, but that really isn't going to matter. We also are going to be talking a lot around boundaries and communication. Again, this is something I learned the very hard way from having a partnership go south. And so because of it, I am very passionate about it. And then we're going to talk about, those high performing habits. So at this point, you might be like, cool, Caytie, this is where more information should be. But of course, Mercury is in retrograde. And as I was putting a landing page together, guess what happened? It crashed. And that was at like 5 o'clock. So I do not have any kind of page for this, but I do have a Google form. Not typically what I would send you, but if you are interested in this, fill out the Google form. It's literally your name, your email address, your phone number, and then I'm going to get you information in the next 24 hours. It is a 12-week program. I typically do not have more than 8 to 10 women in any group like this because you want to keep it small. But I wanted to talk to you all about this and see if that's something that you're interested in doing. The price is $9.97. And then I also can break it up into payments if that is something that you need. So we certainly can talk about that. So I'm going to stop there. I'm going to open it up for questions. You can ask questions about confidence, the confidence resume, questions about the Bold Blueprint, or questions about anything else. And if you don't have a question, then we can also start celebrating our successes and what wins you've had over the last week. Okay, and while y'all are thinking about that, Kay, social media. It is crazy that you said that today. This morning I was on social media and I was like, oh my gosh, that girl is doing what I want to do. And y'all, I don't even remember what it was. Like, I think she was on the news or something. And I was like, she's talking about what she's doing. It was on LinkedIn. And y'all know that LinkedIn, they put different stuff than they do on like Instagram, right? And I got so upset. And so I wrote in my journal this morning, I said, okay, I have two choices when it comes to social media. One, I can completely get off of it. Because if I have to stop comparing myself, I just have to do it. And I'm not kidding, ladies. I hide people and unfollow people all the time. There is a speaker who is a female. She's a badass. If I told you her name, y'all be like, oh yeah, she's like making the rounds. She is awesome. I have met her virtually, but I started watching her content and it made me feel terrible about myself. Terrible. I was like, you suck, Caytie. You're never going to be as cool as her. What are you doing? And so I just had to unfollow her. Not because she's not great, because I couldn't be in the same realm. Because I was not looking at it as, oh, wow, that's something I can become. I was looking at it as, you suck because you're not her. So I wrote in my journal this morning, you have two choices when it comes to social media. Number one, you can either choose to look at the things and opportunities other women are going through and believe that they then can be possible for you. Or number two, you have to get out. Because moderating for me, moderation was not working. So I don't know what anybody else feels about social media, but let me know. Yeah, Cheryl, it can be so overwhelming. It's horrible. Yeah, I think that like some lady was on the news and she'd come from like Dallas to Austin to like talk about what she's doing. And I was like, but I'm from Dallas and I'm in Austin and I'm not talking to the news. Like, y'all, it was crazy. I don't know if y'all do this. I do this. Oh, okay, FOMO at the wazoo. And then I thought, well, maybe she has a PR person. I don't have a PR person. Okay, let's open it up for celebrations. What do you have to celebrate? Where have you won? And here's the thing, since we just talked about comparison, and since Carrie Ann just reminded us that comparison is the thief of joy, when we share our celebrations, when we share the steps we've taken, the moves we've made, all of this, when we share this, it is not for you to compare yourself. It is for you to look at your fellow woman and go, oh, if it is possible for her, it is possible for me. So that's just a reminder. No one has anything to celebrate. Cheryl, go for it, lady. And I'm saying that right, right?
What's that?
I am saying that right. Cheryl.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
good. All right.
Yeah, thank you. I actually started a workout program. You know, I work from home. I have a W-2 that's remote, and used to be a super active person, and I would go through these ups and downs where I'd work out or ride horses or whatever it is. But I started a program where I do yoga 3 days a week, every other day, and then I do cardio every other day as well. And then I give myself Sunday off because it makes such a big difference in my sleep and my energy level. Because my job it's more exhausting. It's mentally exhausting. And so if I don't burn that physical energy, I don't sleep good. So yeah.
Well, kudos for getting out there and doing the thing.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. It's all on YouTube too. I do the yoga on YouTube and I do the cardio fit from YouTube. So I'm at home because where I live, I have to drive 30 minutes to a gym. So
I've never thought about working out with YouTube. Perhaps I should do that. That's a really good idea. All right. Who's next? What other win have you had? What little steps have you taken? What big steps have you taken? Leah, shout it out, lady.
So one of the first properties my business partner and I acquired is a 6-door. That's 8 months behind. I've had to pay out of pocket. And finally, tomorrow we have inspections. So that is a win.
That is a win. That is a win. Keep us posted on how that goes.
I will.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Evita.
Hello. I'm like, I popped in late, but I do very much enjoy these Zooms. So thank you guys.
Come when you can. Listen, I know that everybody's got 27,000 things going on. We're just glad you're here when you're here.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm really excited because I just recently joined a team. So I'm
Nice.
really looking forward. It also happens to be women, so that's super cool. But I'm just looking forward to kind of this next adventure and learning and growing with all of them. So I'm super excited.
Yes, I love that. And I think, listen, I'm seeing a lot of TCs team up. I think that is really, really cool and important. I know I've had a lot of conversations one-on-one.
Yeah.
Again, if you're a TC, my thought process is find a niche down, become an expert. Do not become a jack of all trades. Become that master and do it with other people. And if other people on your team have a different niche, that's even better. Then it's like, oh, we do this and this, right? So if it's not you, it could be somebody else.
Exactly. You balance each other out.
Yeah, congrats, lady. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Who is next? While you're thinking of things, we invested in 10 condos in Dallas. I think we closed in November, and we have had 3 units that have not been rented, and we just rented the last 3 units. And we are super freaking excited about that because we've barely been cash flowing, and now it's really gonna start to be exciting and awesome. So that's exciting. Nobody else has anything. Nothing has happened.
I'll go.
Okay, get it, Kay.
So, we midterm rented our properties, and we just got another, I don't know, this is a win for me, but we just got another tenant to, sign up and kind of, yeah, it's a 1-month lease with a possible extension of 4 to 5 months. I'll take it. It's awesome.
Lady, that is a win.
Yeah, I think cash flow
Yes.
$1,600 a month net. So
Okay, that is a
midterm
win
rentals.
right there.
Thank you. And if anyone has a midterm rental and wants to do wonderful things with it, Tanisha Apps is amazing. She charges, I think, $600 for her consultation, but she went above and beyond with me. It's amazing. And so this tenant that's leaving and, so another tenant's coming in. The tenant that's leaving, I found out that he does housing for the Chicago Cubs because Arizona has spring training, stuff like that. So he does housing for Chicago Cubs. And he said we have 200 people that come for spring training to Arizona all the time. I'm like, I wish I had more midterm rentals to accommodate the whole team, but I don't yet. But I was like, but that was Tanisha's insight. She's like, talk to your tenants, find out what they do and connect with them and stay connected to them. So anybody, if you are thinking about the consultation, definitely do it. Tanisha's amazing. So yeah.
I love that. We should probably have Tanisha on. So I'll add her to reach out to.
She's awesome.
Yeah. Spring training, there's 32 baseball teams, and half of them go to Florida and half of them go to Arizona. And then there are people who make pilgrimages. Like Cheryl just said, my brother goes every year. We have been, the Rangers were in Vegas for a game on my birthday a couple years ago. We went, and we have tried to go to Arizona. I mean, y'all, you can rent. It's like owning a house in Augusta the week of the Masters. If you rent your house out in Arizona or in Florida just for spring training, you could pay your mortgage for the whole entire year. Yeah.
I was just about to say that. So this gentleman that is leaving because spring training is over, he paid for 2 months, he paid 10 grand for our condo. It took care of the mortgage for the year. I'm just saying.
Yeah. And that's the other thing
You
is
know,
that
yeah.
the people who are going to be staying, like you have all those baseball players, all those executives, then you have all of the like high end people who like not high end, the have high net worth who travel to see this. And then you have like regular Johns and Joes taking their sons and daughters and all that. Like, yeah, you could have a 2-bedroom condo or a 10-bedroom house. Like there are people, my one of my best friends, her brother was a major league pitcher, and like his entire family would move out to Florida. Like his wife, their nanny, their 3 children every year. Like, yeah. I love it. Also, that just makes me happy that we talked about baseball. Baseball is one of those things that I thought was really dumb and really stupid until I got into it and realized that there's so much strategy. And so it's super exciting. I love sports that have a ton of strategy. Carrie Hen, talk to us, lady.
I will talk to you.
And I owe you a text.
You owe me a text. How dare you? No, so I went to Peak Partnership like a week and a half ago, and I was able to network with a ton of different people who are interested in PMLs and PMPs. Had a great time. I got to like hang out with Vina Jetty for like 2 hours and just really, you get in those spaces, like you said before, you get in those spaces where you're like, do I belong here? Can I hang with this? Because this is not my sub-2 group. I don't feel safe. I don't know these people. And then, you say, no, I can do this. Like, and you meet incredible people and you create relationships. And so now I have like 13 people I've met who are interested in what I'm doing, and we're texting back and forth and emailing. And yeah, it's really exciting.
I love that. I was listening to something the other day. 2 of my mentors that I've done stuff with when I was still doing like coaching, was Chris and Lori Harder are their name. I'm obsessed with them. Actually, Lori just had Vina on her podcast a couple of months ago. And they talked about how getting in the room will always be different. Like it's fantastic for us to be virtually because it's cool. We can network, all the things. But when we are in person, even if like all 30 of us were in a room tonight, the connections that we would make would be vastly different than what we're making right now. And so anytime you can put yourself in the room, I think I'm all for it. And so actually, and I'll put this in Trailblazers, but I would love to hear like who is coming to, if anybody's going to Fun Launch Live or who's going to Squad Up Summit. I know there's other conferences. We want to see if there's a lot of women that are going to go, then we'll probably do like a little meetup or something sometime during the event.
I'm doing Squad Up. I'm not doing Fun Launch just because it's right in between like my family coming and that, and 6 kids. So I probably won't be leaving them for 2.5 weeks. But I also, with some scheduling things, people who are staying at my Airbnb, I have a king size bed room and a room with 2 twins. And it's like $450 a person for 5 nights. And it's less than a mile from Squad Up venue.
Okay. I need to talk to you.
I saw that, Carrie Ann. I saw your post, but I already booked a room at the Hilton.
I just it's cheaper, and I will just say I need my sleep, beautiful. And it's gotta be quality sleep, because I'm not going to be great if I'm I would love to share a room with someone and think that I'm going to sleep well and it's going to be super great. But I figure I would rather have my sleep and be able to get up and drink my herbal tea and do my morning routine, set my day off in the right way. And then, so if anyone is interested, or someone who's interested, let me know.
Yeah. I definitely am. And you don't have to be in sub 2 to go to Squad Up Summit.
Nope.
So just FYI,
No,
not
I met
everyone in our group
I
is.
invited someone
Yeah.
from Peak, and I'm like, you're super cool. You should come. And he and his wife might come from Texas. So yeah. Yeah.
I love that. Okay. Next Monday, we are going to be doing who, not how. We're going to do the similar round robin to what we did last time. For those of you who are not on it, that's totally okay. What we want you to come with is what are you working on and who do you need to know? Like, you might know the actual person's name, or you might be like, hey, who has this? Like, last time I said, who do you know that is an excellent underwriter? So I could have all these conversations with underwriters. So we're going to be doing that same thing. You're going to have between 60 and 90 seconds. And then hopefully we will help connect you to as many people as possible. If you don't need anything, that's okay. Every single woman in this group, every single woman in real estate investing knows other women. So please invite as many people as you possibly can. The more people in the room, the more connections we're able to make. And again, the idea is just how can we continue to grow the ecosystem when it comes to women in real estate investing? How do we really move from 31.6% of women in the US of real estate investors are women? How do we move that closer to 50%? So, ladies, it was so awesome to be with you. If you did your confidence resume, here is what I will tell you. I want you to put it somewhere that you can see it. Put it in your closet, put it on your desk, put it in your bathroom, wherever you can see it. Because again, I don't know what's coming in front of you, but I know you've been building your confidence muscles your entire life. And the next thing that you come across where your ego says, you can't possibly do this, I want you to get out your confidence resume. I want you to remind yourself that you absolutely can freaking do it. And we call it a confidence resume because it's something you're going to continuously add on to. You're never going to stop putting yourself out there and doing those things, whether it is absolutely crushing it, doing something terrifying, doing something scary, just doing something exciting and making it happen. Have an amazing week. Go crush it this week. Use this as your confidence boost. We'll see you inside a Facebook group and we'll see you next Monday night. And if you wanted information about Bold Blueprint, I will get that to you in the next 24 hours. Bye, ladies.